Have you ever felt bored in your life? We've all felt bored before, but it becomes a problem when you chronically feel bored and when you feel bored really on a consistent basis. In this video, I'm going to give you the only solution you'll ever need to cure boredom forever. So listen up.
I think we all have the moment there when just tries us to
What is boredom? So boredom, really what it is really you're not having fun. You're not being stimulated, you're not, having anything interesting to do. That's pretty much what boredom is. And where does that come from? It comes from not being aligned with one's direction in life, not knowing one's direction in life. It comes from this uneasiness, this sort of restlessness. So you feel really restless, like you're never like, you feel uneasy, like you want to do something, but you don't know what it is, or you just can't be with yourself. That's what boredom is. It's this inability to sit still with the present moment. And that comes because somewhere along the way, something happened. And for some reason, you were thrown off course. Maybe you had a goal, maybe you had a direction you want to go, or maybe you never had a direction. And that's why you feel bored right now. Boredom it's really a manifestation of not knowing what you want, not knowing who you are, not knowing how to challenge yourself, not knowing how to push yourself to new limits, not knowing what to do with your life. That's what boredom comes from. Because if you knew what to do with your life, if you knew what your passion was, if you knew what your purpose was, then you would never feel bored again. Me personally, it's very difficult for me to actually be bored. I can't even remember the last time that I was genuinely bored, because I always have something to do. Yeah, okay, the last time I got bored, I went to the hospital and I had to wait, and I didn't bring a book, so I had to sit still and do nothing. Then yes, I was bored for that time, but really it's not like a chronic thing. If it becomes a chronic thing, then that becomes a real problem. So there's two types of boredom from my point of view. There's a first one that's kind of the temporary type of boredom. So, maybe you've hit a roadblock in your career, or, in your life, in your business, you've been working super hard, you've been working really hard, and then you're like, you know what, I don't know what else to do now. Like I feel like I've exhausted my possibilities and I've exhausted my projects. I finished my project, my latest project. Now I don't know what the heck to do. And now you kind of feel like this sort of void, this empty space. That's normal to feel from time to time during transitional phases in your life. But the problem becomes with the second type of boredom, which is a much more serious type of boredom, where you're always bored for no reason. How that manifests is you're always seeking for escapes. You're seeking for that next stimulus, that next time you'll get high or drunk, that next time you'll go out with friends, that next time that you're gonna have this cool film to watch, or this cool movie to watch, or next video game you're gonna purchase. It's like this endless chase towards escaping the present moment that becomes more serious. Really, what that does in your brain when you're bored is basically there's two different things. One thing is that you're not challenging yourself enough, or you don't know who you are and what you want. The second thing being that because you're being overstimulated, with things, you're addicted to that dopamine rush of checking your Instagram feed, or like playing video games and jerking off to porn, or whatever stuff you do, right? You're addicted to that dopamine rush. So what happens is that you can't sit down and read a book. You can't sit down and meditate. You can't sit down and practice a craft, a difficult craft, until you really get good at it. You can't sit down and practice the piano, practice the guitar. You can't sit down and work on that difficult math problem at school, or that difficult essay at school you need to do. You can't do that because your mind is overstimulated and your dopamine receptors are firing off like crazy. Because of that overstimulation, in comparison, everything feels boring. Everything else feels so understimulating, right? When you have this game that's like pew, 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 shooting like millions of monsters left and right, and then you compare that to sitting down and reading a book, of course, reading a book is going to feel super boring in comparison. So really what you have to do is find your purpose, find your passion, find that clarity in your life, find who you are, find your values. Once you have that in place, everything else will autocorrect. What I mean by that is that, if you find a vision that's big enough, okay, a vision, a goal that's big enough, a dream that's big enough, then it doesn't matter. Then you won't have time to be bored. You won't even have time for it because your mission will be so important. You won't even have time to be bored and sit down and do nothing because you have so many things to achieve, so many dreams you want to accomplish. And once you reach that state, it's pretty much impossible to be stuck in that inaction anymore, that sort of laziness, that uneasiness anymore. So you need this appropriate level of challenge. And if, by the way, maybe you already know who you are, you already know your career path, where you want to go with your life, but you're still bored, maybe it's because you're not challenging yourself enough. To challenge yourself enough, make a vision that's bigger than what your vision is right now. Make it big, make it like immense, like so big that it could take you a lifetime to accomplish. I like to say that my purpose in life is to raise the world's consciousness, to raise people's consciousness, to make them more wise, to make them more conscious of who they are, of what they can become, so they can achieve their own potential, right? That's my purpose. And I do that through videos on YouTube, through filmmaking, through art, right? And I make this vision big enough, right? Big enough so that it will take me a lifetime to accomplish it. You need something big like that, or else you'll always succumb to boredom at some point in your life. So here are some practical tips for you to implement if you're bored right now, okay? Now, if you suffer from the more serious type of boredom, okay, I'm telling you right now, do not run away from it. Do not run away from it. Don't go and try to find the next video game, the next film, the next time you get drunk with your friends. Doesn't matter. Don't run away from it. Sit with it. Go take a pen and paper, a journal, and write down exactly what's keeping you stuck, right? What's keeping you awake at night? What are your biggest fears? What are you afraid of, right? What is stopping you from breaking free of your sort of mental barriers? Why are you stuck there? Why are you stuck feeling bored and unhappy with your life? Because that's really what it is. The root cause of your boredom is that you're unhappy. Viktor Frankl, in his book, Men's Search for Meaning, he talks about this sort of existential dread. I don't know there's a name for that, but when you don't have any purpose in your life, this sort of existential lack in this lack of meaning in your life will manifest as boredom. This lack of purpose in your life will manifest as boredom. So trying to find that, dig deep into that and ask yourself, who am I? What do I want to accomplish in life? Even if it's difficult, what are the things that I'd like to accomplish, and so I can accomplish them, right? Because just knowing what you want to accomplish is already 90% of the work. The other 10% is only the execution. But knowing it, being aware of it, is really 90% of the work. If you're of the second type of boredom, there's more temporary type of there's a lull in your career and your work or whatever. It's fine to take some time off. It's fine to take a break. And if you've been working hard for weeks on end, playing one video game is not going to kill you. Watching one film is not going to kill you. Go reconnect with friends. Go reconnect with your family. Maybe that sort of. If you're feeling that negative feeling, then maybe it's time to reconnect with friends, just for a short amount of time, and then get back to work afterwards. So if you struggle with any of this, with feeling bored, not knowing who you are, not knowing your direction in life, not having any clarity on who you are and what you want to become, then I want you to book a free consultation call with me. And you can do that by, there's going to be a link in the description that you can click, or there's going to be a link also in the comments, or I'm even going to put a link right there. You can't miss it. It's going to be everywhere. Just click, buy my products. Just kidding. But by the way, it's entirely free. And after that, you'll be invited on the call if you want to join my 60-day coaching program. Yeah, I extended it to 60 days because I really want to make sure that there's huge transformation in your life. And if you're a good fit for it, then you might be able to join it. So don't forget to book your free consultation. I'll talk to you later. Peace.